If a home has to go back up on the market after it's already gone under contract because of a poor inspection, it can be the kiss of death. This story is going to show you exactly what you need to do when you have your home inspection and how you can prevent problems from happening that can cost you tens of thousands of dollars in the end. Wait until the end. I've got a free inspection checklist that you can download for yourself to show you all of the updates that you need to make to your house and all of the maintenance that you need to do in your house in order to sell faster and for more money. I had these clients that had reached out to me, and I knew them because they had been on the market for, gosh, it had actually been a couple of years. They were priced super, super, super high. And so when they had reached out to me, I knew that it was going to be a difficult conversation going in to talk to them about their home and the price of their home. So when I did go to the house, they did select me to be their listing agent after they'd already worked with the other agent. And if you've watched me before, you know what I say. Us real estate agents love to be the third agent in. And the reason why is the first agent overprices the home because they want the listing. The second agent is able to get the price down a little bit. And the third agent is the one who sells the home. You want to be the first love, you want to be the second wife, and you want to be the third real estate agent. That's a phrase in our industry. So I was the second agent on this home. And when I got to know them and talked to them, I realized they were really having financial problems. He had lost his job and they really needed to sell the house. It was financially a complete drain for them. And the problem was that they had not taken care of the house when they lived in it. They had a lot of deferred maintenance. I talk a lot about how you have to make sure that you are doing maintenance on your home throughout the course of the time that you've owned the home. If you're coming to these videos and you're saying, I need to sell my home, what should I do to get it ready? You're probably a couple of years too late. Taking care of your home, doing the maintenance is an ongoing thing. I have a lot of videos that I've done on this channel. I've put a link to another video down below if you want to take a look at that. So as I said, these sellers had already been on the market for like a year and a half with another agent, and I knew the price was too high. So I did successfully get them to reduce the price by $200,000, but we were still on the market for a couple of months. Now we finally got an offer, and we were about $50,000 below their list price. I did actually get them to accept it because I talked to them about the ramifications of not accepting it, the carry costs, the market. We were not in a great market at the time, so we didn't really know if things were going to be going up or they were going to be going down. So they did successfully come to an agreement on this deal, and it was not the price that they necessarily wanted. So now the husband was actually a real jerk. I mean, this guy was such a jerk. He would yell at me. He yelled at my team. This is not the way I like to be dealing with my clients. Honestly, it makes for a very bad relationship because I really like to be a team with my clients. I don't want to feel like they're in this position where they can just yell at me and it's okay. And it took me a long time to really figure out how to shut people down like that, which I did. I successfully shut it down, but it made for a very difficult relationship with the sellers. Now, the inspection did not go well. It was a mess because they hadn't done any maintenance over the course of years. So it had lots of little things that were wrong. And many people who I talk to always say to me, we have nothing wrong with our house. Our house is perfect. We have had no issues. We have no water. Our roof is fine. But they don't realize buyers nowadays are super, super difficult. I mean, like incredibly difficult. They take the littlest, tiniest thing and they want a credit or they want it fixed. Or if they see too many little things, they will back out of the contract. So it's really important when you get to the inspection that you are taking a breath. It is important that you just say, okay, I am going to figure this out. Don't get emotional. So as you can imagine, my jerky client refused to give a credit and refused to make any repairs to the house. Now, I'm sure all of you out there are thinking, I agree, I wouldn't have made any either, because he was $300,000 less than what he had originally started at. And he thought, there is no way I am giving them a credit. I'm not giving it any money. And you know what happened? We went back on the market. Yep, went back on the market, same list price we were at. And guess what? Who lost the listing? Yep, me. 10 months later, they finally said, we're done. And I said, we're done too, because they wanted us to accompany every single showing. And he was just not a nice person. So I said, you know what? It's fine. Go for it. Find another agent. And another agent came in about 6 months later and had it on the market. And guess what? They went under contract, because remember what I said, you always want to be the third agent in. So now when they actually sold the home, what price did they sell it for? The exact same price that I had the offer on 10 months prior. 10 months. So now they had the carry costs, they had the maintenance, they had their taxes, they had all of this that they had to continue to incur. In addition, they had to have more showings. And if you know showings, you know that they are so painful. So they had the same exact price that I brought to the table. All they had to do was agree to the inspection items and then credit items. That was it. And they would have been done and over. So if they had talked to me years prior, I would have talked to them about the things that they needed to do, the small things that they needed to do to avoid inspection issues. I would have told them what the buyers are looking for. This is why I beg of you, all of you out there, please, please bring in a real estate agent as your partner early. I promise you, as agents, we want to build that relationship with our clients. Somebody did just reach out and said to me, well, I don't want to bring anybody in too early because what if I don't like that person? I don't want that person to sell my home. And I said, that is the name of the game. That is what we do. We are trying to build rapport. We are trying to build relationships. While we are also salespeople, we are consultants, and most agents will give you free consulting. You want your agent to be your partner early on so that you can talk about these things. You can make sure that your home is in great condition. Giving them a plan early on is really, really important. And as I've always said, if you need an agent in your area, reach out to me. I've got a link below. I will help you find an agent in your area that I know will give you some great guidance, who will be your partner and who will be your team member. Hey, it's me, Kati. If you've been watching, you know that I have an inspection checklist and my seller's playbook that you can download right below. I do not want you to miss out. It's going to show you exactly what you need to take care of during your inspection. In addition, it's going to show you the low cost, high return items that you need to update. You must update, and the high cost, low return updates that I do not want you to make. So go ahead, click that below and download the playbook today. Let's talk about how we can avoid having this happen to you. First of all, a home inspection is not an end-all be-all. I don't always believe inspectors. I take what they say with a grain of salt. They are not always right. They are not always wrong. They are there to find issues. Now remember that if they don't find something and the buyers end up buying the house and then something comes up, they possibly could be sued. So it is in their best interest to make sure they are over analyzing the house rather than being like, it looks great. You have to keep that in mind, is the inspector is going to be finding issues that you probably haven't seen. Now, the purpose of the inspection is to show to the buyers the condition of the home. The buyers do not have to go through the whole deal if they don't like the condition of the home. They can back out. They don't always have to ask you for a credit or a repair of any sort. So the common issues that are addressed at the inspection, I always usually say it's foundation, it's roof, it's water, it's safety. Those are kind of the issues that I say are big red flags. What may be a foundational issue to one person may not be to another person. In the Chicagoland area, there are a lot of homes that have little tiny hairline cracks in the basement, and sometimes they get some seepage in it and sometimes they don't. Those are typically not foundational issues, and any home that's probably built prior to 1985 in the Chicagoland area is going to have those issues. You need to talk to your agent about the location you're in to find out what are kind of common inspection issues. In Chicagoland area, they really don't have termites. In Florida, they have termites, so there's usually a termite inspection as well. So you need to understand that in your specific location. Don't just go off based on what I'm saying here. So some of the major issues are going to be electrical, plumbing, HVAC, air, the furnace, water heaters, things like this, major functioning items. The roof is always usually a very big deal. And you want to make sure your agent can come in early enough to talk to you about these issues. Now, I do not recommend replacing mechanicals like your HVAC or your air, whatever it is. I don't recommend replacing that unless it's broken, because if it's in working condition, then you are good to go. Now, of course, if it's not working, you have to fix it. You have to replace it. If you are thinking our furnace or our air conditioning is old, I'm going to tell you no, as long as it's working. I have had a furnace in a house that was 40 years old, 40 years old in the Chicagoland area. And the seller said it still works. And yes, it still works. So I want you to keep in mind, do not just go out and start spending money on these things without talking to your agent. Some of the things on the outside of the house that you're going to want to look at, you're going to look at the foundation, you're going to look at the siding, you're going to look at the gutters, you want to look at the landscaping, you want to see if there's any drainage issues. Also, this is specific to the Chicagoland area, is there is a lot of sewer issues. Particularly tree roots will go into the sewer. So you want to sometimes have a sewer inspection with a camera down there to make sure there are no tree roots in there, because that is a very, very big fix. If you're not cleaning out your sewer line, you might want to be doing that. Again, your agent is going to know specifically for your area. All safety issues are important. So you want to make sure that your carbon monoxide and your fire detectors are actually working, because that will definitely come up in the inspection. Fix all of these issues before your inspection, ideally before you go on the market. Now, the sellers that I was working with did not understand the significance of this. So when the inspection report and the credits and repairs were asked, they did not believe any of this stuff because they had never looked at any of this. Over the course of years, you have to spend money on maintenance. So really what they should have mentally thought about is, how much would this have cost me to do over the course of time? It's kind of the cost to live in the home. So that's what they should have been thinking. And so some people get so worked up at the inspection because they're like, I am not giving $5,000. But really, what is it worth to you to be done and over? Where are your emotions? Is the stress worth it? Was it worth it for them to go back on the market when the buyers were asking for just a $5,000 credit. Is that worth it? That is not worth it. You need to decide what is best for you and best for your family in this situation. The other thing you need to do is you need to make sure that you're honest and transparent when you're filling out that property disclosure. If there is something in the property disclosure that could be an issue, it's better to disclose it and let somebody write an offer on that house knowing that there's an issue. You cannot get in trouble for that, because then you are going to say, this is something that I pointed out to you early on and you made an offer knowing it. That's why you should never ever hide anything. Just put it on the disclosure and say, there it is. Sorry, do you want the house or not? That also will help you at the end of the inspection and the negotiating time, because you could say, you bought the house like this. What we do for our sellers is we actually create a mechanical sheet. It's really important. This mechanical sheet, it says all of the ages of the furnace, the air, the roof, any additions that have done, anything that has been done in the house, the windows, anything like that. And we provide that to the buyers before they make the offer. So if they make the offer and then they say, well, your furnace is old, all I have to say is, well, we gave this to you before you made the offer. You already knew it. So you want to make sure that your agent is putting together this list of updates and ages before somebody writes an offer. And sometimes we have furnaces on there that are super, super old, and we'll just say they're really old. They're 30 years old. They're 20 years old. The roof is 20 years old. It is what it is. And then they make the offers based on that. So then when you get to the inspection, it's not an issue. The biggest thing about this, though, in this whole story that I told you, is that the seller was super emotional. He was already upset that he was losing all that money that he thought he was going to make from the house. We literally had an offer that was $350,000 less than what he originally started the list price at. And so he was livid. But he should have been able to say mentally, I'm willing to give in $5,000 more and be done and over. But he didn't. So he had not kept his emotions in check, and it got emotional. I work with people who are running multi-million-dollar companies, and they are getting upset over a light bulb that is blown out or a doorknob that is loose. And I am being dead serious. When you get to the inspection part and you are a seller, you have got to keep your emotions in check. You need to stay calm. You need to stay focused on the end result, and you need to recognize that the money is worth stress. What is that money worth to you? Is it worth less stress, more stress? It's all up to you, but don't underestimate how significant it is to continue to have the stress of selling your home. I always say selling a home is traumatic. It is absolutely traumatic. I feel for you. It's better to go in knowing, prepared. You want your agent right there for you. Now, I'm going to tell you, I do have an inspection checklist down below that you certainly can download. It's going to give you all of the information that I've talked about, in addition to all the updates that you need to do before you put your house on the market. The link's down below. If I've made this clear, you need to make sure you have your agent who is guiding you through early enough, and do your deferred maintenance. Do your maintenance over the course of years. Do not wait until you are ready to sell. I'm talking at least probably 2 years before you're ready to sell. You need to bring an agent in. If you need an agent, let me know. I can certainly provide one for you. So when you sell with strategy, when you take the information that I'm giving you, when you download this checklist, I promise you it is going to make your selling process smoother, easier. You're going to make more money, and you're going to sell faster. Thanks for watching. Make sure you like and subscribe if you're here to the end. I've got a lot of videos that come out. I do not want you to miss it.